Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to the first solo episode of One More Minute here in 2025. I hope that your year is starting off well. I don't know about you, but maybe you've made some New Year's resolutions. I know I did. But my year has been off to a little bit of a weird start, to be honest. I also, just real quick, I love these moments where it's just like a solo episode. I don't know if you guys love or hate them, but I love the opportunity just to kind of bring you guys listening. Obviously, the show's a baby, right? Like the show's new, and you're on very early in on listening to how this is developing. And so just want you guys to have a full glimpse into my thought process for the show, how things are going, kind of what's going on. But dude, my year has started off weird. First of all, I wasn't in my own home for New Year's, which I really regret. I don't know, anybody else out there, you just love being in your own home, like to start off the new year? There's something about that, like you can wake up in your own bed, you've made these resolutions, you're going to start tackling them, and you can do it like in the comfort of your own home. That was weird. We got to be with family, which was nice, but I just missed being home. Also, to like end out the year and begin the year, our whole family had the stomach bug, which is just the worst way to celebrate New Year's. Being at a New Year's party and just needing to be in visible distance from a bathroom all night. Not to be gross, but that's just the reality of it for all of us. We get through that and we think we're in the clear, and then boom, sending a kid to daycare will get you the flu. If you're a parent, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Every time a new sickness comes out, it's like they're passing it out there at those daycares. But our son got started with the flu, probably from daycare, brought it on home and shared it with the rest of us. Sharing is not caring in that case, but that's what he did. So we're all there struggling with the flu. That's about a full week of us just feeling awful. And you don't eat. I've lost my appetite. Honestly, I'm still getting my appetite back. I've been flu free for probably 7 days as we're talking right now, as I'm recording this episode. But still just like don't have an appetite. And it's the worst, right? It's the worst when you don't feel like yourself. Well, just to make it even better, we get through the flu. All of our family's doing all right. It's the Saturday after. So we're starting to get into the weekend. People are starting to feel normal. Like the world is ours again, right? And out of nowhere, I get this earache. I'm like, man, it's like an annoying earache. It feels like you had like water in your ear from swimming, whatever. And so I go, okay, this'll go away. I just got to like shake my ear a little bit. Well, it progressively gets worse and worse and worse overnight to where I can't kid you. I don't know if you're a dramatic person. I am not. So when people typically ask me what a pain scale is from 1 to 10, my usual answer, even if it hurts, my usual answer is like 5 or 6. If it really hurts, I'll say 6. But I just try not to make a big deal out of things. This ear pain, I can kid you not, and with like all honesty in my heart, this was a 9. I mean, this was some of the worst pain I had felt in a long time. I take myself over to an urgent care. They weren't super helpful because it's late at night. They can't really prescribe me anything that I can go get. So I just have to go home, take pain meds, and be on my merry way. Well, one of the most sleepless nights of my life sitting there with this level 9 ear pain, right? And I finally must have fallen asleep at some point in the night, only to wake up in just this nasty like pool of blood dripping out of my ear. I don't want to go into too much detail because it was gross for me. I'm sure it's gross for you listening. But I literally had like blood just dripping down my neck from where it had been coming out of my ear. That has never happened to me before. And so, as you can imagine, I take myself to the ER to find out that my eardrum ruptured in my sleep that night. Just a wild case of events to start off 2025. Now, I say this too. One, I am not a negative person. I'm not a glass half empty kind of person. I realize that there are people out there who have it much harder. I'm sitting here on a podcast talking through my first world issues of going through tummy aches. Like I'm a tummy ache survivor and all this stuff. But I will just say it mentally, and maybe this is where you can kind of relate with me here. Mentally, it's thrown me off this month, right? Have you ever been there before? Have you ever been in a situation where like you had all these dreams and you had all these aspirations and these goals, right? Like for me, stepping into the new year, I had this idea of, man, wanting to really make this my healthiest year yet, wanting to really dive back into running, wanting to devote more time to adding some video to the podcast, and then just thing after thing after thing that makes me just feel not like myself and not in the mood to get healthy or to be on a camera. It just was a little, discouraging, I guess, like I'd say. And maybe you've been there before too. Maybe you've been in a place where you had all these hopes and these dreams, and you find yourself at a crossroads where you built this up and now you feel like maybe now you just feel defeated. I've struggled with that even these last couple of days of thinking about, man, do I give up, which is crazy because it's only 3 weeks into the year, right, of a year goal. But I understand how adverse, issues like that and setbacks can really be a bummer, can really be harsh for the dreams and the goals that you have. And here's my encouragement for you if you're listening to this, because I'm needing this encouragement. If anything, I'm talking to myself, and I hope that you get something from it. But it's not too late to pick it back up. Roadblocks will come. There will be issues that will happen. The thing that we can't allow ourselves to do is to make those roadblocks dead ends, right? You can't allow some issue, some tummy ache, whatever, be the thing that stops you from achieving that goal. Because that'll always happen in life. There'll always be moments where you're going to dream about something and then you have to get past this financial hurdle, or you have to get past this, this hurdle of feeling insecure or feeling like you're not worth it or whatever. And getting past that place, as uncomfortable it is, will get you to a place where you need to be. Doing my best to be just as encouraging as possible. I love this quote. I've been reading through this book. This guy's a character, so I'm not saying I necessarily recommend him for listening, but I've been listening to this book by David Goggins, and this quote stood out to me. It says, "The most important conversations you'll ever have are the ones you have with yourself." I've been thinking about that lately. There's another quote of his, maybe I'll bring up in a second, but just thinking about, man, like the things that I need to hear, like I need to tell them to myself. I need to have these kind of conversations of, hey, you're getting negative. Like, hey, Alec, you're getting to a place where this isn't you, you're losing some discipline. You're getting off track. Like you're feeling negative about yourself. You're telling yourself these things, like you got to get back on the horse. And I think if we're not willing to do that for ourselves, there's a high probability that no one else out there will do that for us, right? And the things that we want to achieve are going to be harder to achieve because we don't even believe in ourselves. Man, if you can't believe in yourself, then who is going to, dude? I love those kind of people that have that, exuding confidence, right? Because if they're confident, I love how confidence is contagious. If I see somebody that's confident in what they're doing, not only does it make me want to be a champion for them, but it also, rubs onto me where I feel this confidence now, man, if such and such can take on this and they can feel confident about it and positive, man, I could do this. We just had somebody on the show last week's episode, when you're listening to this, Vince Strawbridge talking about his family, conquering this incredible journey of this huge trail from Canada to Mexico. If an 11-year-old can do that and face just pain and cold and uncomfortable, then you know what? I bet I can get myself out of this slump. And I bet I can get myself to a place where I feel like I can pick up those dreams and I can pick up those goals that I had for this new year and still achieve it. I hope wherever you're at, I hope you take those opportunities. I'm very excited for where we're taking the show this year. There's some cool projects that we're already in discussion with about bringing some more just unique things from the One More Minute podcast to you. I would love, especially for people that are listening to this, if you're listening to this, you are one of the early adopters of this show, and I can't thank you enough. I would love to know who you are. I'd love to know more about you, and I'd love to know what you love about this show, and maybe what are some suggestions and some ideas you have for me. I'm very appreciative for the fans and people who are consistently listening every week. Please feel free to reach out to me. Probably the best place to do that is social media, is Instagram, at One More Minute podcast on Instagram. Reach out to me, shoot me a DM. I want to know who you are. I also want to know that this show is impacting people from unique stories in our area. And as we continue to grow this show of unique stories that are beyond Central Florida and beyond Lakeland. Excited to have one of my friends on in the next couple of weeks who's a YouTuber, lives in North Carolina, has just done some cool stuff. But yeah, I'm excited for where this show is going. I think there's some really cool pieces that I can't wait to announce for you guys. And I want to get to know you. So please do this. Please reach out to me, shoot me a DM, let me know who you are. Let me know how I can continue to make this a great show for you. And I'm excited to see what more will come in 2025. And if you get anything from this minisode, let it be this. Let it be that no matter what's happened at the beginning of this year, or whether you felt like you got a little lazy, didn't set any goals for yourself for 2025, it's not too late. You can pick it up. You can set some goals for yourself. Maybe some trials, some issues have hit you. Don't let that be the thing that stops you for a full year. Pick it up. You got a lot longer to go. Love you all. Look forward to hearing from you next week.